They say that the gut is like the second brain. Once I learned how to eat in a way that was gut healing, my mental health completely transformed. The reason that we're using these vegetables is because they're very low carb and they're not starchy. Starch is one of the things that can really irritate the gut.
Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we are going to be talking about a TikToker known as Liz Seibert. I don't know exactly how to pronounce her name. Now, the reason we're going to be talking about her, so a little bit about her. Liz is a model, but the reason that we are going to be talking about her today is that she has recently been making quite a bit of TikToks about her diet and the way she eats. And the diet that she has is definitely a little interesting, I think is the a kind way to put it. It's definitely different, and it's caught the attention of quite a few people. One person in particular that we're going to be talking about, but that's a little bit of a rundown of who she is. So the first video that I saw from Liz was actually her eating brains.
It is day 5 of eating organs to see if it'll improve my health. Today we're doing brain. Last time I did brain, I just did a little lamb brain. First I just cut it all up. The veal brain is like way less gross than the lamb brain. It's my first time having brain in a while. Sometimes you just gotta face your fears.
Literally eating brains, and this kind of caught my attention, and I've had quite a bit of people message me and ask me what my opinion was on her, and so I did a little bit of research, and so I've kind of found out the reason that she is eating brains and organs and all of these things is because she is on a journey to heal her gut microbiome, and on a food healing journey, trying to heal her relationship with food, which I'm sure is something that a lot of us have been on. We've heard that story many times. Is it that crazy of a story? Is it that special? Is it that unique? Not really, right? So why am I talking about this? Well, the reason that I'm going to talk about this is because Liz actually got the attention of another person who I've talked about before on the channel, and that is Abby Sharp. So Liz has made tons of videos sharing what she eats in a day, and in these videos, the foods that she eats are very different, and they're very interesting. She goes and she gets her food from an Amish farm, an Amish family.
Come with me to pick up my groceries from an Amish farm. I get groceries from the Amish every 2 weeks. They basically just deliver it to one person's house, and everyone in the area goes to that house and picks up their order. That is everything. All of this stuff together was about $500. Let me show you everything I got. Butter. Lots of heavy cream, sour cream, yogurt, 2 things of kefir. It's like a probiotic drink. It's really good for the gut. So much cheddar cheese, 2 whole chickens for making like broth.
She has a whole TikTok talking about that. She, gets a bunch of cheese from them, and milk that hasn't been pasteurized, and that's a whole other thing. But again, she has gone over this, and she also talks a lot about intermittent fasting, or only eating for a few hours in a day. And that, it seems, kind of sparked Abby's interest, where she kind of made a video that Abby does a lot, where she reviews someone's diet, and she goes over, the types of food that they are eating, and she talks about whether or not she thinks this is something that people should be, taking advice for.
I do intermittent fasting, so let me show you how I eat all of my food within 3 to 4 hours every day.
This is a really, really bad idea. A modest fast, totally fine, but aggressive fast like this, especially for women, makes it nearly impossible to meet your nutrient needs, and it puts one at risk of severe hormonal irregularities and muscle loss.
Then I take a lot of supplements. After I did a blood test, we found out that I had a bunch of nutrient deficiencies, so basically I just take every vitamin that I'm deficient in.
Or we could just eat more food. Listen, I am all for a carefully planned supplement regimen to help relieve the burden of trying to eat perfectly every day. But if you're deficient in a bunch of nutrients, it's a pretty good sign that your diet needs a good overhaul.
I take 32 pills in the morning, so I just try to swallow as many as I possibly can.
Taking 32 vitamins a day shouldn't be a flex. Yes, I would say there may be some benefits to modest fasts, but in extreme cases like this, the risks far outweigh any potential perks. Hard pass from.
And I think the reason Abby did this, again, this is just me speculating, but because Liz has, over 1 million followers on TikTok, so her reach is vast. And so I think Abby saw that, and especially someone that is a model like Liz is, literally is there are probably a lot of young women that are looking up to Liz and would like to also be a model and do the things that she does. So they might be taking this advice, and this is advice that's coming from someone that doesn't have a background in nutrition. They are not, they are just a person that is sharing their journey, which everyone is allowed to do. But I think in the same vein, everyone is also allowed to criticize and share their opinion on someone talking about nutrition. And even if they're not giving advice, also, but they still are giving advice, in my opinion. When people kind of say like, I'm not telling people what to do, I'm just sharing what worked for me. And I know a lot of other people have similar issues. Basically, that's like giving advice without actually saying that you're giving advice. Liz and Abby actually have a little bit of a back and forth. So Abby goes over one of Liz's videos where she is, going over her intermittent fasting type of day of eating, and Abby shares her opinions on it. And then Liz actually ends up making a rebuttal, and this is where things kind of started to get a little crazier. Liz kind of talks about how she used to be a fan of Abby's and she used to watch her videos.
Hi Abby, I'm Liz. I'm the girl in the video that you just reacted to. While I appreciate your perspective on my dietary choices, you did get a few things wrong when it comes to my diet, such as the reason why I take so many vitamins in the morning and the actual amount of food that I'm eating, which if you would have gone to my profile, you would have seen that is actually close to about 3,000 calories a day. More than that though, I actually used to be a fan of yours. I used to watch all of your videos on YouTube.
She brings up Abby's mental health and the fact that Abby takes, certain medications for her mental health.
You've been very, very open about your mental health struggles, and that openness is so appreciated. Being open about your mental health online allows people to feel heard, and I think it gives context that is really, really important. When you started posting videos like this, you talk very openly about your use of antidepressants and your dependence on pharmaceutical drugs just to sleep and get through the day. I was in that exact same spot. I was cycling through different doses of antidepressant medications. I got to a point where I was like, enough is enough. Like, I know I can fix this. That's when I found my nutritionist who cured herself of chronic illness just through diet. When you started posting those videos, it was clear to me that you were stuck in the same place that I was stuck in. So for that reason, I decided to stop watching your videos and stop taking your advice. And I'm so glad that I did, because now I'm not on any pharmaceutical drugs. My depression and anxiety are gone. I've gained the weight and I have an amazing relationship with food.
And she insinuates that Abby wouldn't have to take those things if she ate how Liz eats. She doesn't say that, but it's very much insinuated, and that obviously caused quite a bit of controversy and quite a bit of drama. Now, obviously, that was like a whole thing, and I don't really want to get into the nitty-gritty and like talk about like who was right and who was wrong. That really doesn't interest me. I just thought it was interesting because I actually ended up finding a TikTok that I feel personally really encapsulates a lot of people that are in similar shoes to Liz. And so what does that mean? So I have seen a lot of people on the internet, on TikToks especially, because I feel like TikTok breeds this more than anything else. But they have had a struggling relationship with food, and then they feel that they have found the answer, and then they want to share that with everyone and shout it from the rooftops, right? And so we're going to play a TikTok. I'm going to play most of it, and I just want you guys to see this, and then I want to share how I feel about that TikTok, because I feel like this one really encapsulates exactly the issue that I think I see with a lot of this stuff online and on the internet.
Let's talk about why I eat the way I do. I think this explanation is definitely a little bit overdue, especially since the way that I'm eating definitely does look a little bit restrictive, especially for someone like me who's been so open about eating struggles in the past. I have struggled with food for pretty much as long as I can remember. It wasn't until about 2 years ago that I decided it's time to make a change. It's time to get help. I had just started modeling and I was going through quite a phase of restricting and over-exercising. Over time, it slowly started ruining my life, as these things do. So I decided to get help, talk to therapists, make changes, gain weight. I needed to learn that food was good and not something to be feared. So I was pushed to eat everything, eat all my fear foods, and gain weight in any way possible. And I did exactly that. I would go to restaurants and I would order soda instead of water, which I would have never done before. I don't know if anyone remembers, but that's about the time that I started posting these videos. I did gain some weight. I was still exercising pretty hard, which my relationship with exercise is honestly another whole topic. But I had no more anxiety around food. I ate whatever I wanted for the first time in my life, and this was just so freeing. I could not be more grateful for this time. However, even with all of the positive changes that I was experiencing, I still felt pretty bad. All of my physical and mental symptoms were getting worse as I gained weight. This was super confusing to me because the professionals that I was working with and the standard of care basically just told me that if I gained weight, everything would be okay. Over the course of a year, my acne got worse and worse. I was having like allergic reactions all the time, which was super random. Just didn't feel good physically. In addition to that, my anxiety and depression got to an all-time high. It got to a point for a while where I genuinely couldn't leave the house because of my mental health. I was also on a pretty decent dose of antidepressants and acne medication. Those medications were not working. I still was very depressed and anxious, and I still had acne. I also actually had to pull out of my modeling career for a while because, again, I was just I couldn't leave the house. And by the way, at this point, the professionals that I was working with in the standard of care saw me as a success story because I had gained weight. What they wanted me to do was just increase my dosages. They basically told me that I would probably have to be on antidepressants for the rest of my life. And it never occurred to me until very recently that my diet and lifestyle could actually be keeping me sick. After doing a ton of research, I found out about this medical diet. It heals you from the inside out. It heals your body and your mind because everything is connected. At this point, I'm like ecstatic because I'm like, oh my God, this is something that I can heal. Maybe I don't need to be on antidepressants my whole life. Maybe I can heal my acne, because for the past year, I had been eating cakes and ice cream and cookies and everything processed. And listen, that was a necessary part of my recovery. But at this point, I started thinking that that might no longer be serving me. After 7 months on this medical diet and changing some things in my lifestyle, I'm off all meds. I'm better than ever. I'm not saying that this is the solution for everyone. Maybe you don't agree with what I'm doing, and that's okay. But I just want to share my journey and how much it's helped me, because I have a feeling that someone out there can relate to something that I've gone through. Anyways, let me know what else you want me to talk about.
So you might have watched that TikTok and thought to yourself, oh, I didn't really hear anything wrong. I think that's a great story and it's a great journey. And I don't even necessarily disagree with that sentiment. I think like everyone's going to have their own journey. Everyone's going to have their own, relationship with food, their journey in hopefully increasing and making that relationship better. All of that stuff. I don't really have an issue with it, but, and it's quite a big but in my opinion. What I saw here and what I heard when I listened to this TikTok for the first time, it like alarm bells started ringing a ton. So what am I talking about? So what I heard in that TikTok was, this is someone that has, it seems the majority of their life has had a tumultuous and extreme relationship with food. And so before, she was eating too little, not eating enough, really over restricting, to a point of maybe an ED, disordered eating for sure. That was an issue. And then, okay, so we are going to course correct, go all the way to, I'm going to have whatever I want. Nothing is bad. Nothing is off limits. I can have whatever I want. I'm not going to restrict myself at all. Okay. And then she was like, I'm not really feeling this. And then now I'm only going to have this food from the Amish people, and I'm going to eat organs, and that's going to fix it. And now this is the answer. Right. And so through all of these extreme diets, if you want to call it that, but just extreme ways of living, I think is a better way to put it. There has been like, this is the answer. This is the way to do it. No, this is the answer. This is the way to do it. No, this is the answer. This is the way to do it, right? And it's not just Liz that's in a situation like this. This is so common when it comes to the internet, because in my opinion, I feel like the reason these influencers, these diets, these ways of thinking become so popular is because of how polarizing they are. Like, it wouldn't get as popular if it wasn't as polarizing. The reason it is popular is because it's polarizing. People see a young woman eating brains and they're like, what the hell is going on here, right? And they click on it and they start watching it, and then it just feeds into itself. And so I see someone that has had a struggling relationship with food and has tried to find solace in the answer in all of these different extreme ways of eating. And like the way that I see it, and like the answer I feel like, is always trying to find the most quote unquote normal and the least extreme way of eating, where you can maintain, the diet that you enjoy. You can still have these quote unquote fun foods, but not feel like you are, a slave to them and like tied to them. And so that's what I saw here. That was what I picked up on. And again, that's just my opinion, but that's how I felt. And so that's why I feel like we see so much of this online, especially now. I feel like it's only getting more popular, more people doing extreme diets because it gets popular on the internet. People start talking about it, and then boom, you have 1 million followers or whatever, right? But again, that's just my opinion. I would love to know what you guys think down in the comment section down below about everything that we've talked about today. I'm genuinely curious. Let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.